Okay, so you want to get smart fast on the big global issues. Today, we're diving into cybersecurity.
Yes, specifically why it's become such a high-stakes game in international relations. It's huge now.
Exactly. We're looking at how it just blew up, from a niche tech thing to a real global power struggle.
Right. And the kind of sneaky ways countries are using cyber tools against each other.
Yeah, what are those common attacks, and how do nations even defend against them? It seems impossible.
Well, there are ways, we'll touch on defense, but also that tricky question is a cyber attack an act of war?
Hmm, that's a big one. Plus, election security, always in the news.
And the role of hackers who aren't working for a government, those non-state actors.
Then there's the whole idea of digital peace treaties, maybe?
And how cyber power plays into diplomacy, which industries are most vulnerable.
Right, the sitting ducks. And how this fundamentally changes national defense.
It really flips it on its head.
So our mission here is simple. Give you the crucial intel on how cyber activities are shaking up the world stage. Ready.
Let's do it. What's fascinating, really, is just the speed this happened. The digital world became central almost overnight.
How so?
Well, think about it. Our vital systems, our economies, society itself, it's all plugged in, right? Swimming in data,
Okay, yeah. Everything relies on it.
which makes all that infrastructure and data irresistible targets. So cyberspace becomes this new battlefield.
A battlefield for influence and potential conflict.
Exactly. Geopolitical competition just in a new domain.
Okay, so let's talk specifics. What do these state-sponsored cyber attacks actually look like?
Well, you've got a few main types. Think digital espionage first.
The spying.
Yeah, basically countries sneaking in virtually to steal secrets, sensitive data, government plans, intellectual property.
Got it. What else?
Then there's sabotage. This is more destructive, aiming to disrupt or damage critical infrastructure.
The taking down a power grid or something.
Precisely. Or messing with financial networks, transportation systems, real-world impact.
Okay, wow. And the third type?
That would be influence operations, using disinformation, propaganda, social media manipulation.
To sway public opinion.
Exactly. To undermine trust, sow discord, or influence political outcomes like elections.
So if everyone's trying to spy digitally, how do nations protect themselves? It sounds like a constant battle.
It absolutely is. It requires a layered defense. We're talking sophisticated detection systems to spot intruders.
Uh-huh.
Sharing intelligence is also crucial between government agencies and, importantly, with allies.
Working together.
Yeah, trying to be proactive, blocking threats before they can actually do damage. It's tough, though.
Which brings us back to that really difficult question. Can a cyber attack be considered an act of war? It just feels so blurry.
It is incredibly blurry. The legal and political debate around this is intense and honestly unresolved.
Why is it so hard to define?
Well, a huge hurdle is attribution. Figuring out definitively who launched an attack is notoriously difficult. States often use proxies or mask their tracks.
Plausible deniability again.
Right. Plus, there's simply no global agreement, no clear international law on what level of cyber attack crosses the line into warfare, or how nations should respond if it does.
And then there's election security, which you mentioned. We hear about interference all the time.
We do. States might try to hack into voter registration systems or voting machines themselves, though that's harder.
Or just spread chaos online.
Often, yes. Spreading disinformation to manipulate voters, discredit candidates, or just erode overall trust in the democratic process itself. That's often the core goal.
But it's not only governments playing this game, is it? What about hackers, activists?
Correct. Non-state actors are a major factor. You have hacker groups, some motivated by ideology, some just for profit ransomware gangs, for instance.
And activists, hacktivists.
Yes, using cyber means for political protest. And sometimes these groups can act as proxies for states, doing their dirty work.
So it complicates things even more.
Definitely. It muddies the waters about who's responsible and what their motives are.
With all this digital chaos, you'd think international treaties would be the answer. But that seems hard too.
It's a huge challenge. Getting dozens of countries to agree on binding rules for cyberspace is incredibly difficult.
Why, specifically?
Well, national interests often clash. There's the problem of verifying compliance. How do you prove a country's following the rules?
Yeah.
And the technology changes so fast.
So any treaty could be outdated quickly.
Potentially, yeah.
Right.
But there are ongoing discussions trying to establish norms of responsible state behavior online, even without a formal treaty.
Okay, shifting slightly. If a country develops really strong cyber capabilities, does that give them like an edge in traditional diplomacy?
Oh, absolutely. Having advanced offensive and defensive cyber skills can be a significant bargaining chip.
How so? Like leverage?
Yes, it signals strength. It shows a nation can protect its own interests in the digital realm and potentially project power or hold others at risk. It influences negotiations.
Makes sense. And are certain industries more vulnerable, more likely to be targets?
Definitely. Think critical infrastructure sectors.
Yeah.
Finance is a big one, obviously.
Energy, healthcare.
Yes, energy, healthcare, defense contractors, government agencies themselves, anywhere with sensitive data or where disruption causes major problems.
Because the impact is just so high.
Exactly. Maximum impact strategically or economically.
So, bringing it all together, how does this fundamentally change national defense? It can't just be tanks and planes anymore.
No, that model is incomplete now. Cyber threats blur the lines of traditional conflict. Defense requires a much more integrated strategy,
Integrated how?
combining conventional military strength with robust cyber defenses, intelligence gathering, and even offensive cyber capabilities to deter attacks. It's about defending digital borders now, too.
So, the big takeaway here seems clear. Cybersecurity isn't some separate technical issue anymore.
Not at all.
It's fundamentally woven into modern statecraft, isn't it? Shaping diplomacy, conflict, everything.
Absolutely. It touches almost every aspect of international relations today.
Which leaves us with a final thought, something for you, the listener, to mull over.
Yeah, given how these cyber threats keep evolving and the lack of clear global rules we've talked about, how might our traditional ideas about national sovereignty, a country's independent authority within its borders, how might that be challenged or even need redefining in this digital age?
A really powerful question to think about. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.